So let's take a look at this YAML file. So I've got my Studio 2017 open here. I'll start off by opening up the YAML file so we can see what it looks like. And you can see that basically what I want to try and do is pull out the translatable text that's here. And so I've muddled things up a little bit in this file, and I've taken some which are between single quotes like this one, some which is between no quotes at all, which is this one, and some between double quotes, which is that one. And there's a couple of other examples of that further down the file. So that's what I'm going to work with. Now I've already done the regular expression in the article, so I'm going to come back to Studio. And first of all, we just create the file. So I click on File, Options, go to my file types, and then click on New. And here I'm going to select the regular expression delimited text. I click on OK. I give the file a name, call it version 1.0. And then what I'll do is I normally use the same name as the file type identifier. Then for the wildcard expression, the file dialog wildcard expression is the part that helps Studio recognize what the file is, so that when it sees it's a YAML file, it uses this file type. So I'm going to put YAML in there, which is the recommended format for this file type in the specification. But my file, and I know quite a lot I've had, is just YAML, so I'm going to add that to it as well. I'm going to click on Finish, and that's it. I've created my file type. And what I would normally do is I'd say OK. Then I would either drop a file in here for translation, I'd create or browse for it, or I'd create a new project, or I can use a shortcut, Control-Shift-0, which I'm going to use, and open the file for single translation. Ask me for the languages, goes through it, opens the file up, and I can see them in the browser. So this has picked everything up. The important thing is it's recognized the file type. You can see the file type identifier because I called it YAML at the top here. Just in case you wondered how I got that, when you click on View, if you're in Tag ID mode, notice how that orange tag changes. So when you're in Tag ID mode, this one here, it will show you whatever you call the file type ID. So it's just a double check. But an easier way to check this now, using the new feature in Studio, is to go to File, Options, stay where I am with the file type that's opened, somewhere where I'm ready to do the next bit of work. And down here I have this preview file. This was not here in the previous versions. And now I can click on Browse, pick my YAML file, and then just preview it. So I don't have to close the options and open the file up again. I can just preview the file, and I'll see the same thing. So it's opened the file up very quickly in this very simple editor, text editor. And I can copy text from here, which can be handy when you're trying to create the tags, and click OK. So all I need to do is add the rules. So the first thing I'll do is I'll just delete the existing rule because I don't want that one. And then I'll just copy and paste the first rule in, which is in the article already. So all I'm doing there is I'm starting at the beginning, looking for any text until I hit a colon followed by a space, and then I'm looking for anything which could be a single quote, a double quote, or nothing at all. And my closing pattern is going to be the back part of that expression, followed by a dollar to mark the end of the segment, like that. So I add that, and now I can just click on Preview to see if that looks any better. And it does. So now I'm only pulling out 16 segments, and they're pretty clean. These are actually just the segments I should be pulling out of that file. What I need to do now is add the placeables. So here I just want to be picking up things like, for example, the A reference. So let's start with the hyperlink reference. So here I'm going to add a new rule. So I go to my inline tags, click on Add Rule. It's not a placeholder, it's a tag pair. And my opening is going to be here, A, followed by a space. So I'll put the space in full. And I'll just take anything I like because there was some other text in there. And I'll make that lazy so it doesn't keep looking. And then close it off. That's my opening tag. And my closing tag is just quite straightforward, like that. It's always translatable. I can edit it because it's a hyperlink. Let's underline it. And let's change the color as well, just so it looks a little bit prettier in the browser or in the editor, like that. And then when I preview it, you can see I've picked up my hyperlinks. Now, an interesting thing I can see here straight away is that all of the ones in my examples have these like brackets beforehand, and I could probably just, to make it easier for the translator, get rid of that so they only have to deal with the text. So if I come back to this one again and edit the rule, and if I add a opening bracket, oops, it needs to be escaped because it's a special character. That's what the flashing red was for, telling me I can't do that. And then the closing character that side, and click on OK. And then when I preview it, that's better. This time I've captured the square brackets inside the tags, and so all I have to deal with is the translatable text, which is much easier for the translator. So that was cool. So then I can go through some other things. So I've got a break symbol. This one I can just copy straight out. I'll just Control C because the right click's not working. Add a rule, it's a placeable. Paste it in, and when I preview it, now I've tagged up that one as well. Straightforward, hey? Now I want to take the italics, so I'll do the same thing with the italics, but this is not a placeholder, this is a tag pair, and the closing tag actually has the / in front of it. And this, the formatting, because it's saying italics, I guess we can make this italic. So we activate the italics, just so it looks a little bit more WYSIWYG-ish, and then preview. So that's cool. So now I've got my italics. That's good. So we're almost there. And the last thing I need to do is to pick up these sort of things. So name and info link. So I'll just copy that to give myself a head start again. I'll add another rule. It's a placeholder. I'm going like that, except I don't want to pick up just info link because there was some others in there as well. That's the format they take, so I'll say dot to take anything, star to keep take anything, and a question mark to make it lazy so it stops taking things when it gets to the first bracket. Say OK, now when I preview it, and there we go. Bob's your uncle. So that was really quick. I was able to just very quickly add the rules, test them, add the rules, test them just with a single click to make sure I was doing the right thing. And for somebody who creates a lot of file types, this is quite a significant feature. Very simple, very straightforward, but a huge time saver. I really like it. And that's it. So I'm done. Now I can come in here and I can open up the file properly. I'll just make sure that's all still works. So open up the file, and there we go. Working perfectly.